So today I want to talk about the awakening process specifically. And again, it feels like there's a lot of misinformation about it. And I just want to give you my personal experience of it and how it worked and eventually what you can expect. Okay. Just to get that out of the way, if you do like the content that I'm making, if you do like these videos, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that little bell notification. So then I know I need to continue. And if you haven't seen the shorts, I'm still figuring out what I want to do with that, but it's more good advice, daily affirmations, or those kinds of things. But it's in a short video format. All right. So today we're talking about awakening, and to make it as crystal clear as possible, for me, in my personal experience, I experienced two different kinds of awakenings. All right. So the first awakening was very much awakening to the real world and awakening to the physical world, right? And what this awakening typically entails is when you start seeing things as they are. Not as people tell you they are, not as you want them to be, but much rather just as they are. All right. And you start seeing all of these different control systems that are in place that essentially tries to control people. It's very much a matrix vibe, right? Initially. So the first type of awakening is awakening to the physical world, and that's where we start to see things, right? Things that some people might miss, or things that some people might not experience, right? Not everybody will reach awakening in this lifetime. If you subscribe to the idea of reincarnation, we also need to understand that for some people in this life, they will reach awakening. For other people in this life, they maybe just not ready, or maybe they still need to journey along before they can reach their awakenings, right? So the first thing, the first awakening that you will experience is to the physical world. And what this is let me give you an example. If you look at the monetary system, okay, if you look at the system by which we earn money and spend money, and you realize that it is a control system. It's a system been put in place, okay, to control large numbers of people, to essentially make them slaves, then you're well on your way. So there's a couple of control systems I would like to touch on. And once you start seeing these, you're going to start seeing everything else, right? So let's open our ears, open our eyes, and let's just talk about that. So the monetary system is a massive control system. Okay, so people think slavery has been abolished, but the sad reality is that most of us, 99% of all the people in the world, we are slaves to our monthly, weekly, daily paycheck, right? We're still slaves for money, because if you don't have money, you die. Okay, you can't live, you end up on the street. If you do have a lot of money, suddenly life is on easy mode and you can do whatever you want, right? So you got to sell that dream that one day everybody is going to be rich. But let's be honest, right? It is a finite resource. There's only so much of it. And you have the very rich and wealthy people at the top, and they are holding the vast majority of it. And then you see how people start fighting for the scraps, right? That's left. So everybody is trying their absolute best to find ways to make money, to generate more money. You see people working 2 to 3 different jobs, right? And they have some side hustles that's happening at the same time. And the reality is that no human being was ever meant to live that way, right? But that's the system. This system where we have to go and work multiple hours, do things we hate oftentimes, right? Just so we can live, is insane, right? It's absolutely insane when you think about it. So the monetary system is probably the biggest control system that's in place at the moment, where you are literally a slave to doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you have to, right? Otherwise you end up on the street and you can't survive. A second massive control system, and this is my opinion, so don't be offended if I say this, but just hear me out, is religion. Religion is a massive control system, right? And even all the biggest religious leaders out there is rolling in the money. I mean, the church has its own city, right? It's one of the wealthiest organizations on the planet is religion. So if you can't make all the money and you're feeling a little depressed about that, then religion steps in and it says, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You don't need a lot of money. Here you can come and you'll be accepted as long as you do these kinds of things. And what are the things that typically we need to do? It's, again, just control, right? It's just more control. So if we can't control you with money, we're going to control you with morality. It's that simple, right? So it's another control system that's been put into place. The third one I like to always say is look at the drugs, right? Look at the drugs that are legal. Alcohol, tobacco products, those kinds of things, right? They're completely legal. And alcohol has ruined more lives than anything else combined. If you think about how many people have gotten drunk and done stupid things, it's ruined relationships, it's ruined marriages, it's ruined friendships. You've lost your cars because of it. You've lost your home because of it. And that's not even alcoholics, right? That's just people that go weekend drinking, okay? For alcoholics, it's significantly worse. And tobacco products, it's just another way to make you spend money, right? Once you're addicted to it, now you need to spend money. What does this mean? All right, back in there, now you need that 9 to 5 job. Because without the 9 to 5 job, how are you going to smoke? How are you going to drink? How are you going to give money in church? How are you going to do all these different things, right? So there's this massive amount of control systems that's been put in place. And the first awakening that we make is when we start seeing these things, when we start realizing that social media has been created as a method to spread false information, to terrify people, right? Because if you scare enough people, they will let you do whatever you want, right? If you feed them enough false information, right? And even with that, money. Now, again, in Sun Tzu, The Art of War, one of the big things, and everybody knows this, it's you divide and then you conquer, right? So all of these things, if you look at them, right, they are systems that divide people. So money divides people into class, earning potential. Okay, we even assign value to a human being now just off of their earning potential. Right, this dude could be working on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean doing work that nobody else can do. Right, but because he doesn't earn as much as somebody else, right, suddenly they're worth less. It's insane, right? When you look at religion, there's so many different religions. And at the end of the day, all it does is it separates and it segregates, right? It's splitting people apart. It's giving people conflicting ideologies and making them clash, right? So money splits people, segregates people. Your religions, they do exactly the same thing, right? When you have people that drink and they smoke tobacco, they do all these kinds of things, they all eventually end up clashing in some way, shape, or form. And we all know that when people drink, they get combative, they get aggressive on occasion, right? And it ruins lives. So again, we just all we see are these systems that's been put into place that's going to keep you a slave. It keeps you busy. Right? It doesn't give you time to do anything that you want to do. It doesn't give you time to follow your passions. It doesn't give you time to quiet your mind and to see things for what they are because you're always just so busy. You're either busy earning money with your job and your side hustles, or you are too busy out drinking with people, making really bad life decisions, or you're too busy arguing things with people from a religious standpoint. There's videos that have millions of views on YouTube at this moment in time about people standing around and arguing over religious ideologies, right? And it just drives people. And then you've got media, you've got social media, right? And all it does is it distracts people, right? It gives them these dopamine hits. It makes them addicted to dopamine. And at the end of the day, what you see is a people. Okay? And when I say a people, I mean the human race. We're all the same. We're all one thing, right? You see the human race being so distracted, segregated, categorized, right? That they literally cannot realize that they are trapped in these systems, right? Now, your first awakening is when you see all of this. You start realizing it, right? And you start kicking against it actively. All you want in life is peace. All you want in life is to be able to pull yourself out of these systems so you no longer have to be controlled, so you can no longer be manipulated, right? And you start seeing the truth. It's one of the most key things, okay? The truth shall set you free. It's not a lie. When you see the truth of things, you will realize how much of it was designed to keep you locked in, to keep you in a prison, to keep you a slave, to keep you subjugated, to keep you divided, to keep you segregated, to keep you separate. And that is the first awakening, right? So the first awakening is when you start seeing these things in the world. An inevitable end result of this first awakening is that you want to separate yourself from these systems. And there's only one place we can do that. And you've heard this many times, I'm sure. If you have been looking at what the awakening process looks like, most people will tell you that at some point you're going to go dive into nature, right? You're just going to feel drawn to nature. You want to get out of your house. You want to get out of the cities. You want to get away from all this noise and go back into nature, right? And just relax, because nature gives us something that actively gets taken away from us. Instead of distraction, nature gives us focus. Instead of being busy, nature helps us to slow down and calm down, right? Nature isn't perfect, but it is harmonious and exists in a perfect balance. And through the observation of that, through experiencing that, immersing ourselves back into nature, we start craving that, right? And when you hit that point, that's when your second awakening will happen, right? Once you've given yourself time and space, once you've dealt with the things in your life, once you've seen the world for what it is, once you've conquered the ego, right? Once you've done these things, and you typically do them in nature because that's where you have the time to do it, right? And you're in the right mindset, you have the right energy states, then you will experience your spiritual awakening, right? And the spiritual awakening is different, okay? The awakening to the physical world is seeing things for what they are, understanding that there's manipulation and control happening, understanding that we need to somehow remove ourselves from this absolute madness, because it's insane out there, right? The spiritual awakening is when you start realizing, whoa, you know what? I am more than just this body I am in. I am more than just this construct, this ego that I've built for myself, right? I am something more, right? I am bigger. I am capable of more. I am not as limited as I used to think I am. And that's when the spiritual journey starts. Now, the spiritual journey is a never-ending journey, right? So don't let people tell you, you know what, I've awakened completely, I know everything there is to know, because 9 times out of 10 they don't. Is it possible? I suppose yes, it is. Have I done it? Hell no, right? Not even close. But the spiritual awakening that you feel is when you start understanding that I'm actually not above the world. I'm not elevated above it, right? I am part of this world. And the reason why we as human beings are more advanced than the other animals we might see is because we are supposed to be the custodians of this world. We are the caretakers, the watchers, the observers, right? We are the ones that can bring creation into this world, right? What other animals and other things can't necessarily do. And you feel the strong responsibility towards the custodianship of this world. This world needs to be saved, right? But not some crazy, go stick your hands to the road, crazy, whatever, right? It usually starts small. We start opening back up to our pets, or we get a pet, right? Or some random, it happened to my friend, some random cat just finds their way into your life, and they're just, well, I'm living here now, right? And it's that thing where we start to step into the mantle of our responsibility, right, as the custodians and the caretakers of this world. And then as we do this, we are opening ourselves up to higher levels of understanding of what this world can be, or it could be, or it should be, right? And then we start craving peace and quiet, so we do more meditation. We start craving the beauty in life, so we want to go back out in nature, right? And you'll find that most of the people that are spiritually so far ahead, right, they typically end up going and living on a mountain, right? Because they realize that none of the noise of this world that we've created as human beings, right, is actually necessary. It's all just distractions. It's forms of entertainment. And they want to seclude themselves. They want to push that away from themselves, right? So just to sum this up, and I'm going to try and keep this one short because I have a tendency to speak for way too long. There's two types of awakenings that we can experience in life. The first awakening we experience is when we actually physically wake up, essentially taking that pull and being woken up out of the matrix, right? Seeing things for what they are and truly learning what is good for us and what is bad for us, right? And then doing those things. That's the first awakening. And a lot of people have gone through that first awakening, right? I'm fairly sure a lot of people are very unhappy with what's happening in the world right now, okay? The second awakening that you are going to experience is what we call the spiritual awakening. And that's when you wake up to the fact that I am more, I am something else. There is a higher self out there, right? That is actually me, and it's just inhabiting this body, right? Just using it so it can experience this dimension for itself, right? And learn and evolve and grow. Okay, and once we've had that second one, that's when we start diving into all sorts of different disciplines, right? And you can't go wrong, right? The more you know, the better for you, right? So you can go into all the different kind of modalities. You can go into all the different kind of religious structures that's there, and you can go find that golden thread that connects all of them together. So essentially, what is the truth from each one that resonates within the rest of them? And it's a complete journey. It's a journey that we go on. And within we find everything that resonates with us, and you will see that you as a human being, you will vibrate at a much higher level. Your mind will not get bogged down as much anymore. You will have more clarity of thought because you are essentially shutting out everything that is bad for you, and you are receiving everything that is good for you. All right. Okay. And that's the two stages of awakening. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this answers some questions. If you have any additional questions, leave the comments down below. I see some people are watching, but some people are not subscribing yet. Subscribe to the channel, please. And also leave a comment. If you have any questions, ask. I'm happy to respond. And again, if it's going to be a long response, I'll make an entire video out of it. I'm happy to do that. If there's any topics you want me to discuss specifically, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do that. If you think that I'm doing a good job and you just want to let me know I'm doing a good job, leave it in the comments, okay? And let's communicate, okay? Let's actually get into connection with one another. It doesn't have to just be a monologue from my side. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I truly hope this helps you, and I'm going to see you for the next one. Bye.